Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And for a few minutes, I want to talk to you all about the New Orleans Saints loss to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, we all know the New Orleans Saints lost their Week 10 matchup to the Falcons at home by a score of 26-9. One of the most embarrassing performances we've seen under the era of Drew Brees and Sean Payton. The team did not look good at all. But man, there was only a few bright spots in the game. Just embarrassing stuff. You know, today, doing this on a Monday, I'm pretty sure the guys are probably going into the facility right now. They're probably going to be going over the game film, and it's time to burn that tape after they watch it. And it's on the Tampa Bay. But I want to talk about this game. Once again, it was embarrassing. It was sad to see that the New Orleans Saints came out lackluster, especially coming off a bye. I mean, them coming off a bye, they have a very successful record. Sean Payton and Andy Reid are like 1-2 when it comes to teams coming off the bye, getting guys prepared. I don't know if it was just the fact that they just looked at the Falcons and maybe they were reading the press clippings that, Dan Quinn was possibly losing his job. Arthur Blank was losing faith in him. Maybe they thought that the Atlanta Falcons were just going to come into the Superdome, roll over because they were 1-7. You can't underestimate your opponent, and I feel like that's what the New Orleans Saints did. You're never as good as they say you are. You're never as bad as they say you are. Every guy that comes into the National Football League is good. I mean, they're good at their positions. Some are better than others, but if you are elected to play in the National Football League, you're a professional. And these guys get paid millions of dollars. And it's not just in the Saints organization, these guys getting paid millions of dollars. This is a prideful team. And even though their season is struggling, what better way of salvaging a season than to beat your rivals? And the New Orleans Saints was not prepared. They were not prepared for this game. It was embarrassing. Drew Brees, in my opinion, he didn't play very well. He played like he was 40 years old in this game. The offensive line, they look suspect. The running game was absent. I don't understand why Sean Payton, for the past couple weeks that the Saints played, even in the Arizona Cardinals game, they were not really running the football as much. I understand that Drew Brees is the quarterback. I understand that you want to show people that Drew Brees' thumb is okay. But throwing the ball 45 times and in the other game, I think he threw it like 30-plus times. Look, it's just too much passing of the football. I mean, you got some studs at running back. I mean, honestly, you got three if you count Dwayne Washington. You need to run the football. The problem is that Sean Payton is not patient when it comes to the running game. He wants guys like to have 6 and 7 yards to pop. And if they're getting like 1 and 2 yards, he just goes away from running the football. You got to have more patience than that. And you can't just be around there throwing the football all over the place. Guys were dropping passes. You had Traquan Smith dropping passes. Ted Ginn Jr. dropping passes. I think the New Orleans Saints need to go out here and try to find themselves another receiver to go on the other side of Michael Thomas, because the number 2 receiver is not on this team. He's not there. They playing themselves if they think that any of these guys are going to be able to step up and be that number 2. I haven't seen it. So the New Orleans Saints are going to cause themselves a lot of misery in the future if they don't go out there and try to find themselves somebody that can come into the organization. I'm talking about right now, like somebody you can sign off the street and maybe go out there and be productive. I mean, like I said, the one person that I've been looking at, is Dante Moncrief. I know a lot of people have been talking about Dez Bryant, but I would prefer a young 26-year-old Dante Moncrief over a 31-year-old Dez Bryant. In my opinion, he's good, but at the end of the day, you're 31 years old coming off an Achilles injury. Wouldn't hurt to have him in a facility, but if it was up to me, I would go with Dante Moncrief. I feel like he's a better route runner. Probably not better at pass catching, but he has a way of getting open and stuff like that. So I will go over him before I go to Dez Bryant, but I would call Dez Bryant in. But at the end of the day, the New Orleans Saints, they need to do better. This was not a game where we can say, well, this is the team. And as far as like people saying that the Saints got exposed and all that kind of stuff, no, they didn't, man. You look over the course of time and you see some of these teams that are successful go on these big runs. There's always like a bump in the road, a game where people are like, man, maybe they're not as good as we say they are. But this was a division game, and I'm kind of glad that it happened, because when you're clicking on all cylinders and everybody's saying your praises and all these articles coming out saying, oh, they got to make the Super Bowl. Oh, everybody, the Saints are going to be the best team in the league, and the power rankings come out. You start buying into yourself, But this right here was a slap in the face. It was a slap of humility, and it's something that they needed. And I think the Saints are going to weather the storm. I think they're going to respond. I think they're going to go to Tampa and they're going to make a statement. I think that they are going to have every team is going to have their undivided attention. So I'm glad that this happened. Unfortunately, it had to come with a loss. But at the end of the day, the New Orleans Saints are still one of the best teams in the NFC, and they will win the NFC South, in my opinion. But I would like to hear from you. What do you think about this New Orleans Saints game? What do you think was the main reason for the New Orleans Saints loss? Comment down below, like and share this video. And I want to say thank you for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. If you have not, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. Please like State of the Saints podcast on Facebook. Thank you for your support. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?